Hello. You'll want to have a USB flash drive to use on your computer. And then those files, we're going to download them off of the website. So let's go to that page that we found, the 4.0 system update. Now, if you already have version 4.55 or higher, you can go ahead and do this update here. If some people have a display version of 4.5.4, so if you're older, you have to upgrade to the 7.5 first, and then you can do the 8.8. So let's go ahead and get the 4.8.8 version. So you just click on it, and it'll automatically start downloading down here. I'm going to go into my downloads folder. And I'm going to grab that QCC update 4.8.8. I'll just copy that. And then I'll go put it into my flash drive. Okay, and since it's zipped up, I'm going to right click on it and just push extract. Yours might say extract all. And my icon, the reason it has this book icon is because I have a program on my computer called WinRAR that's free. But you should be able to open it without downloading WinRAR. I just like to use WinRAR, and it turns all of my zip packages into a book looking thing. So I'll just give that a second to open everything. Okay, so I have stuff for my robot, stuff for my stitcher. That's if you had a Quilteasy, a perfect stitch regulator. So we're going to want to use the robot stuff as well as the operating system OS. Well, let me go double check. I've got too many folders. Let me put a folder and I'll just move over everything that is not pertaining to the Okay, let me hurry and organize this flash drive so it makes more sense. Alright, I'm doing a restart so that this will be more clear. So I put all my other stuff into a folder so we don't get confused. Okay, now let's go ahead and extract this. So we'll let it extract here and pull everything out that it has. Okay, you can see that there's a bunch of stuff that came out of that folder. And we've got our program. We've got the stuff to update the robot. So after all this is opened up onto your flash drive, that new folder is other stuff that I have. In fact, I'll pull it off my drive so that it's not on here. So all I have is So this way all I have is only the update stuff that I'll need for my system. Okay, let's go ahead and eject this. So I'll just right click and push eject. Safe to remove. Now we'll go take it over to our machine to perform the update. Okay, Lyndon, I'm over here at my machine. I have a Quilteasy, a perfect stitch regulator, and so the display, it actually plugs straight in internally to the board, you can see. And then something using the perfect stitch regulator, the black motor box, it only has one and only connection. It goes from stitcher box and plugs right into the stitch regulator. So one thing on this, Linda, this is one of our newer robots. The remote port size, it's the same size as the stitcher box port. So you can see that it it plugs in there. I believe that your remote port is smaller than your StitcherBox port. So that's one thing we would need to know if we need to do a cable swap. Is that, are these the same size, or is the remote guy a little smaller? I believe yours is smaller. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Let's turn on the display. We'll turn on our robot as well. Okay, mine's a little different, unfortunately, so you'll have to, I'll do it on the way that this screen looks. I wish I had an older, let's see, advanced system information. Okay, this is running 4.8.6. My machine has 4.3.8. My robot, these are the newer robots, and they actually run on something higher. But yours, let me see what yours is going to go to. So what you'll do, Linda, is you'll grab your flash drive and plop it in. Now, I'm not as familiar with your screen because I don't have it hooked up with your interface here. However, I think that this video will make sense for you. So when I plug in the USB drive, mine came up with it by itself. Hopefully yours does. Let me do update system. An update file was found to push the display to 4.8.8, and the machine at the back, it wants to put it to 4.36. It wants to put my robot at 4.23. Wants to put my robot at 4.23. I'm not going to let it do that because my robot is already higher than that. So I'm not going to let mine. But your display definitely needs, Linda, your display will definitely need this 4.8 update. So I'm going to hit cancel, close. After you do that, if you are having problems with your, oh, here we go, now I'm in the robot. Okay, so you'll hit the house. The reason I had that other screen, Linda, that was available for me is because I have a Perfect Stitch regulator. So all those screens were for the Perfect Stitch regulator use. But I believe this, I can return to it by pushing that. And this is the Perfect Stitch regulator where you can control your lights on their handlebars and everything. Okay, let me go into the Butler, if you have the Butler only. And what we're going to want to do is hit this house icon, and then hit setup. And then on the update screen, we'll look at system info, what I have so far. So my display is 4.8.6. It needs to be higher than that. My robot is 5.1.5. Since it's I grabbed a newer robot off our shelf. That one, yours will need to be updated. I'm just going to leave mine how it is. My machine at the back is 4.38. You won't need a machine upgrade since you don't use a Perfect Stitch regulator. So you'll go into here, Linda, and then we're going to hit update system. And then it will find that update, those update files, and we'll say OK. Now, after the update, you can do a restart, and then come back in and check your system info. And your display and your robot version numbers should have increased. So before you do the update, write down what you have already, and then after the update, go and check. It's possible that when you do the update system, it doesn't quite catch the robot. So what you'll have to do is come back into here and simply try it again and see if it will update your robot, and then we'll check the system information. Now the system information, even though it's updated, might still say 4.8.6, so you might have to shut it down and turn it back on for it to read the new version. Now, if the robot is my middle one, if that one is stuck and will not go up, we're going to have to do it manually. So we'll hit update robot. Then, remember all those files that I put on my flash drive? It's reading them. So I'm going to open the robot, and I just push the little plus. And I'll tap on that file specifically for the robot. Your robot needs to be upgraded to 4.23, and then I'll hit OK. And that'll manually target updating the robot. So let's just do a quick recap. So download the files, copy them onto your flash drive, come into updates, write down your display and robot version. Don't worry about machine version. That's for people, only for people who use a perfect stitch regulator, because that would have to be updated as well if you had one. So don't worry about that. Write down your display and robot. Then try to do an update system. If it will not update, it will update the display for sure. After it does that, go check your system info again and see if it has changed. If it hasn't changed, if it doesn't show a change but it did update successfully, you probably just need to restart and open it again and check your system info again, and then you'll notice the display version changed. If the robot did not go up to 4.23, then we'll try it again. We'll hit update system again and we'll let it roll through. Even though it's already successfully done the display, we'll just let it roll through. We'll check to see if the robot's changed. If it hasn't changed yet, we can turn off the machine and turn it back on and see if it notices a robot change. It should go to 4.23. If your robot still hasn't changed, then we're going to hit update robot. We're going to tap robot and we're going to highlight the hex file and say OK. And then let it update the robot directly. After it does that, we'll go back. We'll check one more time. Did the robot number change? If it didn't, it needs a restart again and start it back up and see if it changed. So after all this, you should have 4.8.8 display with robot 4.23.